Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shannon Salter, and I'm the Deputy Minister to the Premier and Cabinet Secretary. Welcome to the installation ceremony of the 31st Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. I wish to acknowledge that the Legislative Precinct, including the Parliament buildings, other buildings, and surrounding grounds, are located on the traditional territory of the Lekwungen peoples, known today as the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. Whereas it is enacted in and by the Constitution Act 1867, that for each province there shall be an officer styled the Lieutenant Governor, appointed by the Governor-General in Council by instrument under the Great Seal of Canada. This is reflected in the Commission of Appointment of the Lieutenant Governor, which is printed in your commemorative program. Each province is responsible for developing a ceremony with due solemnity that includes participation of the Chief Justice and the members of Executive Council, reading of the Commission of Office and administration of oaths. On the advice of the federal government, the ceremony normally takes place within the legislative buildings of the province, rather than the official residence of the Lieutenant Governor, to reinforce the solemnity of the occasion and the role of Executive Council in the oversight of the arrangements. In a moment, I will ask you to please rise for the entrance of the Premier, who has already arrived, the Chief Justice of British Columbia, who is also here, and the Speaker Designate of the Legislative Assembly, also present, and remain standing for the entrance of the Lieutenant Governor Designate's party, Councillor Norman Gary Sam, and the Lekwungen traditional dancers, and to remain standing for the singing of God Save the King. So everyone, if you're able to, please stand and face the entrance to the chamber. Please remain standing while I invite Councillor Norman Gary Sam. I'm sorry. My apologies. Does not appear to be, that doesn't appear to be in my notes. Oh, they're coming in. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Please remain standing while I invite Councillor Norman Gary Sam from the Songhees Nation to deliver the Territorial welcome. Councillor Sam.
Hejka, Siam. Osiam, Siam, Nestelicha, Siam, Thanes Nes, Sequelipton, Chasalea Tzadat, Laquangin, Songhees Nation, E. Kosapsum Nation, Osiam, Naquansane Techel, Na Ike, Laquangin, Tungoch, Nakaka Tungoch, Osiam, Na Swiss Hiwas, Sequelipton, Nosiam, Tu Hakwalak, Nahiwas, Nosiam, Nosusinos Hiwas, and Hejka, Osiam, Nestelicha, Hejka, Hela. My dear friends, visitors from near and far, I am thanking you for this small moment in your agenda today to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Lekwungen people, today known as the Songhees Nation and the Esquimalt Nation. And in my language, I acknowledge the great chiefs that lead these nations today, and just giving thanks to our ancestors and these lands, and paying homage to our ancestors and lands. I'm thanking you for sharing this time as well with the Lekwungen traditional dancers, and that they could offer a sacred song from their sacred song of the peoples, offering up a prayer in the language, and that is what the ladies were singing about in their language, and I just wanted to explain that small part in the song. I'm thanking you for inviting Songhees Nation to be here today to witness such an important event. So just once again, Hejka Siam, Hejka Hela, Osiam.
Thank you, Councillor Sam. Please be seated. We will now proceed with the ceremony. Lieutenant Governor Designate, Premier, Chief Justice, members of the Executive Council, members of the King's Privy Council for Canada, members of the Legislative Assembly, family and friends, distinguished guests, Wendy Cocchia appears before the Executive Council of the Province of British Columbia today to present her commission of appointment and to be sworn in as the 31st Lieutenant Governor of the Province of British Columbia. And then here's where I ask for your forgiveness in advance for the longest sentence you may ever hear. Whereas it is enacted in and by the Constitution Act 1867 that for each province there shall be an officer styled the Lieutenant Governor appointed by the Governor-General in Council by instrument under the Great Seal of Canada, and whereas by and with the advice of the King's Privy Council for Canada, the Governor-General has in the King's name, by commission under the Great Seal of Canada, constituted and appointed Wendy Cocchia to be the Lieutenant Governor in and over the said province of British Columbia, one of the provinces of Canada, and thereby authorized and empowered and commanded her in due manner to do and execute all things belonging to her said command and trust, according to the several powers, provisions, and directions granted or appointed to her by virtue of the said act, and of all other statutes in that behalf, and of the said commission, according to such instructions as were with the said commission given unto her, or which might from time to time be given to her in respect to the said province of British Columbia under the Governor-General's sign manual or by order of the King's Privy Council for Canada, and according to such laws as are or may be enforced within the said province of British Columbia. Now, therefore, the Governor-General, by her instructions under her sign manual, by and with the advice of the King's Privy Council for Canada, declares her pleasure to be that the Lieutenant Governor of the Province of British Columbia, for the time being shall, with all due solemnity, cause the said commission under the Great Seal of Canada, appointing her Lieutenant Governor, to be read and published in the presence of the Chief Justice for the time being, or other judge of the Supreme Court, or as the case may be of the said province of British Columbia, and of the members of the Executive Council in the said province. Madam,
Yes,
is it your pleasure to have your commission read and published?
it is my pleasure.
I call on Jeremy Brownridge, Private Secretary to the Lieutenant Governor, to come and read the commission in English.
Commission of Appointment. King Charles, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom, Canada, and his other realms and territories, King, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. 2. Wendy Cocchia, a member of our Order of Canada, a member of the Order of British Columbia, of the City of Vancouver, in the Province of British Columbia, greeting. Be advised that, placing special trust and confidence in your prudence, courage, loyalty, integrity, and ability, we, by and with the advice of our Privy Council for Canada, pursuant to Sections 58 and 59 of the Constitution Act 1867, do hereby appoint you Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. During the pleasure of our Governor-General of Canada, effective on the day on which you make and subscribe the oaths of allegiance and office required by Section 61 of the Constitution Act 1867, and we do hereby direct you to carry out your duties in accordance with the powers granted to you by the Constitution Act 1867 and any other statutes, our present commission and the annexed instructions or instructions that may from time to time be given to you by our Governor-General of Canada or by our Privy Council of Canada, and in accordance with such laws as are in force in the province of British Columbia. And we do hereby direct that as soon as you have made and subscribed the oaths, our present commission supersedes our commission issued under the Great Seal of Canada on April 11th, 2018, appointing the Honourable Janet Austin to be Lieutenant Governor of the Province of British Columbia. In testimony whereof we have caused these our letters to be made, patent and the Great Seal of Canada to be hereunto affixed.
Thank you, Jeremy. I call on Ken McKillop, Secretary to the Governor-General, to come and read the commission in French.
Charles III, par la grâce de Dieu, roi du Canada, et des autres royaumes et territoires, chef du Commonwealth, à Wendy Cocchia, une membre de notre Ordre du Canada, un membre de l'Ordre de la Colombie-Britannique, de la ville de Vancouver, dans la province de Colombie-Britannique. Salut. Sachez que, en raison de la foi et de la confiance particulière de nous avons votre prudence, votre courage, votre loyauté, votre intégrité et votre capacité. Nous, sur et avec l'avis de notre Conseil privé du Canada, en vertu des articles 58 et 59 de la loi constitutionnelle de 1867, nous nommons, Wendy Cocchia, lieutenant-gouverneur de la province de la Colombie-Britannique. Selon le bon plaisir de notre gouverneur général du Canada, votre nomination prend en effet la date à laquelle vous aurez prêté à souscrire les serments d'allégeance et de fonction exigés par l'article 61 de la Constitutionnelle de 1867. Nous vous ordonnons de remplir votre charge conformément aux pouvoirs qui vous sont conférés par la loi constitutionnelle de 1867, toute autre loi, notre présente commission et les instructions qui y sont jointes ou elles qui pourront vous être données dans besoin de notre gouverneur général du Canada ou par notre conseil privé pour le Canada, en conformément aux lois qui sont en vigueur dans la province de Colombie-Britannique. Nous décrétons que, dès que vous aurez prêté de souscrire les serments, notre présente commission remplace notre commission délivrée sous le Grand Sceau du Canada le 11 avril 2018, nommant l'honorable Janet Austin, lieutenant-gouverneur de la province de Colombie-Britannique. En fait du quoi, nous aurons fait délivrer notre présente lettre patente et y avons fait apposer le Grand Sceau du Canada. Témoin, notre très fidèle et bien-aimée Mary May Simon, chancelière et compagnon principal de notre Ordre du Canada, chancelière et commandeur de notre Ordre du mérite militaire, chancelière et commandeur de notre Ordre du mérite de corps policier, gouverneur général et commandante en chef du Canada. À notre hôtel du gouvernement, à notre ville Ottawa, de 22e jour de janvier de l'an de grâce 2025, 3e de notre règne.
Merci, Ken. The Governor General further declares her pleasure to be that the Lieutenant Governor shall take the oath of allegiance in the form prescribed by the Constitution Act 1867, and likewise that she shall take the usual oaths for the due execution of the office of Lieutenant Governor, which oaths the Chief Justice of British Columbia shall and is hereby required to tender or administer unto her. The Honourable Leonard Marchand has been requested and authorized to administer the oath of allegiance and oaths of office to Wendy Cocchia. Madam, is it your pleasure to take the oaths of allegiance and office?
It is my pleasure.
The Chief Justice of British Columbia is now requested to administer the oaths.
Do you, Wendy Cocchia, solemnly swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, King of Canada, his heirs and successors?
I do.
You, Wendy Cocchia, will you well and truly execute the office and trust of Lieutenant Governor of the Province of British Columbia and duly and impartially administer justice therein?
I will.
Will you well and truly execute the office and trust of the Keeper of the Great Seal of His Majesty's Province of British Columbia according to the best of your knowledge and ability?
I will.
Thank you. Mr. Premier, will you please join us at the table to witness the Lieutenant Governor signing the oath form? So we'll come right here.
Everybody, as you are able, please rise for her honor, the Honorable Wendy Cocchia, the 31st Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, and His Honor Sergio Cocchia, and please remain standing for the playing of the Vice-Regal Salute.
Please be seated.
I am pleased to introduce Dayton Cahill, Emilio Suarez, and Georgie Mantarola, who will be performing Hallelujah. That was beautiful. Thank you. The Attorney General, the Honorable Nikki Sharma, will now return the Great Seal of the Province of British Columbia to the Lieutenant Governor. The tradition of using seals to indicate sovereign will was passed down from the British colonial system of government. The Great Seal is entrusted to the safekeeping of the Attorney General, who receives it from the Lieutenant Governor when they are sworn into office and returns it to the Lieutenant Governor when they leave office.
To the safe custody of the Attorney General, I commit the Great Seal of the Province of British Columbia. Thank you.
The Chief Justice and Chair of the Order of British Columbia Advisory Council will now present the collar of office to the Lieutenant Governor as the Chancellor of the Order. The collar displays the insignia of the Order of British Columbia and the coat of arms of the province. It is linked by the provincial floral emblem, the Pacific dogwood, and the shield of arms, and is the symbol of the authority of the Chancellor. The Sergeant at Arms with the black rod will now enter the chamber. The black rod is carried and used on formal occasions when the monarch or a vice-regal representative is present in the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. I'm now pleased to invite the Honourable David Eby, Premier of British Columbia, to say a few words. From your place. Boss. With all due respect.
Well, now we know who the head of state is. Chief Justice of British Columbia, Your Honor, Councillor Sam, Minister Wilkinson, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great day. It's a very exciting day for us here in the province with a new Lieutenant Governor. And I will say, I was glad to see you pass the seal back to the Attorney General. It's always a bit nerve-wracking about whether or not you're going to hold on to it. This ceremony is obviously quite a formal occasion, lots of very old language, and I thought you did a great job, Jeremy. The French was more understandable for me. I don't have great French. And it reflects the history of the job. And it's a job that is a challenging one in modern times, because people are like, well, you know, does the king really need to keep an eye on us? We're doing all right here in the province. What's the role of the Lieutenant Governor? And I think your predecessor, Jane Lawson, for 7 years, continued the tradition of many of our lieutenant governors in modern times of making the job relevant to British Columbians, establishing stability in our government, which is valued by everyone in the province, elevating the consistency of government above the fray of politics, critically important, but also bringing voices together that aren't often in the same room to reach mutual understanding or at least engage in conversation, to represent the government and the state in a way that is nonpartisan and welcoming to everyone in the province, to bring people together in a time of division. And I can't think of anyone better placed to continue that proud tradition in our province than you, Your Honor. Your history of work in the business community, with the Board of Trade, the BC Business Council, as an entrepreneur, as a leader in the business community, your philanthropic work with the autism community, your commitment to charity. I attend your gala every year that you do with Sergio. It's such an inspiring thing with the Pacific Autism Family Network. And your work and contributions to arts and culture in the province as well situate you perfectly to bring together different communities, different British Columbians, to help us work through what are some challenging times here in the province, in the country, and around the world. The job is more important than ever, more challenging than ever, and I know that you're ready to take it on. I wish you the best of luck. And the nice part about this, LG, I feel like we're getting a twofer with Sergio. It's very rare. I'm not sure, actually, I've ever seen you not together. So welcome to the job as well, Your Honor. I wish you both the best of luck. I wish your family the best of luck. This is a demanding job. And certainly you have my full support in taking it on, as well as that of the government. And congratulations.
Thank you, Premier. I'm pleased to invite the Honourable Jonathan Wilkinson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, to extend greetings from the Prime Minister of Canada. You may. With good reason.
Good afternoon. Bonjour tout le monde. I would like to begin just by recognizing that we do gather today on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen people, and that the land's historical relationship with the Songhees and Esquimalt peoples have existed since time immemorial. Your Honor, Mr. Chief Justice, Mr. Speaker-designate, Mr. Premier, members of the Executive Council, members of the Legislative Assembly, elders, chiefs and councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly a pleasure to be here today on behalf of the Prime Minister of Canada to welcome the Honourable Wendy Cocchia as the new representative of His Majesty King Charles III and the institution of the Crown in British Columbia. I do want to just begin, as the Premier did, by thanking the Honourable Janet Austin for her service as Lieutenant Governor. Over the last 7 years, as Lieutenant Governor, Janet has carried out her duties with immense dignity and grace. British Columbians are rightly very thankful for her service to this province. Public service comes in many forms. Some of us make the perhaps dubious decision to run for elected office. Some of us make more sensible choices. But however one does it, to be of service to one's community, province, or country is amongst the highest calling in life. And those with consistent records of public service should be recognized and honored. Your Honor, I am pleased to say that you are one such person, an entrepreneur and an advocate. You have an illustrious career in British Columbia, combining significant experience in BC's thriving hospitality industry with your clear devotion to your neighbors and community. You exemplify the spirit of public service that the role of the vice-regal representative has come to be defined by. As a tireless advocate for disability rights and services, and as co-founder of the Pacific Autism Family Foundation Network, something you and I have discussed on many occasions, you have dedicated much of your life to addressing the lifelong needs of individuals with autism and related neurodiversities and their families throughout British Columbia. This work has been deeply impactful and deeply meaningful to British Columbia kids, youth, and families. It is a testament to your dedication to giving back to those around you. Beyond this impressive and obviously very important work, Your Honor, you have also been a distinguished member of various organizations central to British Columbia's economy and services. The experiences you have gained as Governor of the Business Council of British Columbia, as the first female trustee of the Vancouver Police Foundation, and as the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade's 5th and youngest female chair, this will no doubt help you to inform the work that you will do over the coming years. En reconnaissance de cette impressionnante palmarès, votre honneur a déjà été reconnu à juste titre par votre appartenance à l'Ordre de la Colombie-Britannique et à l'Ordre du Canada, et en tant que récipiendaire de la médaille de jubilé de diamant de la Reine Élisabeth II et de la médaille de couronnement du roi Charles III. Your Honor, today you have become the 31st Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. Dans ce rôle, vous apporterez sans aucun doute votre vaste expérience du service public et votre engagement pour le bien public au travail que vous accomplirez, votre expérience unique en tant contre-veneurs et d'offenseurs des droits de l'homme vous permettra d'établir des liens avec des personnes dans tous les coins de la province. As the Lieutenant Governor, you will have the opportunity to hear from and engage with the people of this province like few others. You will have the opportunity to bring people together in an increasingly polarized world. And you will serve, as Prime Minister Trudeau said upon your announcement, as a champion for the people of our community, our province, and our country. And as His Majesty the King's representative here in British Columbia, you will also have the honor and the privilege of many formal duties that come with the role of Lieutenant Governor, the embodiment of our history, our traditions, and of the unique relationship that the Crown has with Indigenous peoples. As you embark on this new and exciting chapter, and on behalf of the Prime Minister of Canada and the people of British Columbia, I wish you and your family all the very best. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Her Honor, the Honourable Wendy Cocchia, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, will now deliver her remarks. Your Honour.
Thank you. Thank you. Elders, Chiefs, Premier Eby, Chief Justice Marchand, Mr. Speaker, members of the Executive Council, members of Parliament, faith leaders, members of the Legislative Assembly, veterans, Rear Admiral Robinson, mayors, Consul Generals, distinguished guests, honored colleagues, dear friends and family, and fellow British Columbians, good afternoon and OCM. I hope and I think I got everybody. I am sincerely humbled and honored to have been asked by the Prime Minister to assume the position of British Columbia's 31st Lieutenant Governor. We are grateful to gather on this magnificent land, the traditional territory of the Lekwungen peoples, known today as the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. I acknowledge them and I thank them for being here today and for helping us. Thank you, Councillor Norman Gary Sam, for your welcome and your wisdom. As the proud representative of the Crown, and a very proud also British Columbian, I hold this relationship sacred. The relationship with all Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. I honor the deep and enduring connection with the 203 First Nations in our province, and we really appreciate and have, I honor the connection with the 203 First Nations in our province that we have with this land that they have called home for millennia. On this note, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Honourable Janet Austin and His Honour Ashley Chester. Janet, our 15 years of friendship and shared values inspire me. I look forward to building on your meaningful work. Your unwavering commitment to reconciliation and the wisdom that you have shared about duty and compassion encourage me. As I step into this role, I reflect on the three core values that deeply guide me: the power of compassion, the call to service, and the perseverance to create a better world. These deeply rooted values are due to my family, who are my absolute everything. My groom of 33 years and 194 days, my incomparable partner, Sergio, our children, our purpose and inspiration for absolutely everything that we do, Connie and Roy, my role models, my mother, Lori, and my mother-in-law, Conjatina, and the memory of my father, Roy Sr., and father-in-law, Pasquale, who are watching over us today. Thank you all for your compassion, tenacity, and unconditional support. We gather here at the start of the Lunar New Year, an auspicious time of new beginnings and reflection. The Year of the Snake signifies transformation and wisdom. As I transition into this role, I lean on the wisdom that my mother, Lori, once taught me about empathy and perseverance. She said, "Wendy, you can't understand how someone else feels unless you walk a mile in their shoes." Now, I was only 5, so I was thinking, why would I walk so far in somebody else's shoes? But to me, this is one of life's greatest lessons. Making the decision to put ourselves in another's place and feel their journey. Through our charitable work with families like ours touched by neurodiversity, I've seen the journey of many and witnessed the transformative power of meaningful inclusion. It is not simply about making space for others or checking a box. Meaningful inclusion is about asking the person, is this working for you? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel welcome, seen, and heard? Of course, this applies to much more than just neurodiversity. It is all the things that make someone else unique, be it race, gender, sexual orientation, differing abilities, or age, just to highlight a few. Our sovereign King Charles III recently said, "All of us go through some form of suffering at some stage in our life, be it mental or physical. The degree to which we help one another and draw support from one another, be we people of faith or of none, is a measure of our civilization as nations." I am very grateful and humbled to represent His Majesty the King and the Crown in British Columbia. The Crown is a symbol of continuity in a world where there is immense division and unpredictability. That sense of stability can help create unity, which is a precious commodity. This is an unusual time of economic uncertainty and rapidly changing global dynamics. Wherever possible, I will endeavor to build friendships and strengthen partnerships across Canada, across the Commonwealth, and around the world. The Crown's commitment to service is another aspect of this role that really speaks to me. Today, I reflect on how my family's service began. In 1915, my great-grandfather, Horace David Perkins, gave his life in France. He served as a private in the Queen's Own Royal West Kent Regiment. His ultimate sacrifice left a widow and 3-year-old son, who then emigrated to Vancouver. I have never forgotten his sacrifice, allowing us the freedom to be here today. I am forever grateful to him and salute all those in uniform who serve to protect our country and community. Now, for some of you, this is the first time that you are seeing and hearing me, but why I am here is to see and hear you. I will be intently listening to you with all of my heart and relentless perseverance. As I look to our future, I am filled with hope. I see a British Columbia where empathy is not just encouraged, but expected, where service is not just acknowledged, but celebrated, and where meaningful inclusion is not just an idea, but a reality. We already have this within us, and my role above all is to serve as a connector, bringing people together to help build a province that reflects the very best of who we are. And how will we do that? Well, let's return to the simple yet profound reminder to walk a mile in another's shoes, to treat others as you would want to be treated, and that empathy and perseverance are the foundation of a thriving economy and community. Together, we will walk that mile, united by these principles and commit to creating the best possible future for all people. Thank you. Merci. Haitska.
Canada, our home, our native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see the rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please remain standing for the departure of their honors, the Honorable Wendy Cocchia and Sergio Cocchia. Please remain standing for the departure of the Honorable David Eby, Premier of British Columbia, and the official party. You may have a seat. We're almost done. Everyone, this concludes the ceremony, but we'd like to thank the fanfare trumpets of the Naden Band, Nirvana Bandy, an alumni of the Sarah McLaughlin School of Music, and Dayton Cahill, Amelia Suarez, and Georgie Mantarola for their beautiful rendition of Hallelujah. Thank you to all of you for being here today to observe this ceremony, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.